Hi guys, it's March 28th. Welcome to Monday Night's team call. As you can see, we have two people back on the call that you haven't seen in a while. And tonight we don't have much of a structure. We just want to remind ourselves of a few goals. And then we're going to hear from Elena and Sophia about their experiences the last few months, maybe some of the takeaways that they've had. So first of all, again, it's water month. We have buy one, get one 50% off. Anyone on the call now, do you guys have any questions in regards to how to promote that, how to reaching out to people? How's that been going for you? Unmute yourself.
I mean, like I've posted it a couple times on my story, but I haven't really like reached out to people in particular. So
did you reach out? Remember last time we talked about like reaching out to customers that you've previously had that have bought from you, because they might know somebody who would want it, or reaching out to people that you've had conversations with before but didn't buy it and letting them get a sale?
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to a few people that have bought water bottles, even just to get them because it's time for them to replace their filter. And they're like, oh yeah, like we'll get around to it. So
no, there's no getting around to it because they're going to lose the value of what the system has to offer. So that's where you come in and you be like, listen, if you want to keep having access to this quality of water, then we need to do this. If not, then it is what it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had somebody who I had that same scenario with, and I literally said to her, like, look, you've been putting this off for time. It's a matter of like priority for you. The system doesn't really function at its best unless you're replacing it. So, and she was like, she kept making the same excuse about like money, which she made like a month before. And I was like, look, it's fine if you don't want to buy it now, but set a date. I told her set a time where you want to do it, and don't let her do it on her own. Do it with her. So whoever like Alicia you're doing with, do it with them. But still reach out to those people and let them know about the buy one get one 50% off. Like, you have a few days left and it's a good time to take advantage. I've reached out to everybody that I know that has purchased and let them know, like, hey, how you liking your system? Just so you know, we have this buy one get one deal. So if you know anybody that wants one, or if you want something like another product that they don't have, maybe they don't have the shower head, they can split that with somebody. So people won't act unless you let them know.
Yeah.
So make sure you're letting people know that and give them the opportunity and take advantage of that. So we have the buy one, get one. And also, guys, there's free shipping. They added free shipping on top of that. But I do believe we have to call in if you want free shipping, which is, but yeah, that's what we have to do. And then the other incentives are the one that my dad was hosting. If you sponsor someone this month who does 500 PPV, you'll receive a $50 bonus. Help them achieve Power Start, receive a $100 bonus. And then if you hit 25 PGPV, receive a $100 bonus. And then there's the achieve 4,000 PGPV, receive 150 bonus. But that is split if you have people in your downline. All of that info is like in the team call or in the team chat, and it's under documents in there. Or is it under? No, it's under links. No, it's under documents. Yeah, so you can find it under February SL team incentive, and it's the same ones for March. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, then I'm just gonna leave the floor open because yeah, I don't have anything planned for tonight in terms of, well, actually, let's talk about, I lied. Let's talk about the weekend. Then we'll get into that. Let's talk about what, like, how was it? What did you guys think? What are your thoughts?
I thought it was amazing. I had so much fun. You guys were so generous with your hosting and you had such great food. But I think the sense of community that we have in person is just like, you can't put value on it. It was a really, really great time. And also, I'm sorry, it's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to detangle my boyfriend's power band necklace and it's impossible and I need both hands for it. So sorry if I'm like all the way down here.
Use a pin. a safety pin, it helps.
Yeah, because like they're so tight. I don't know if you
So
guys
I
can
take a
see,
safety
but
pin and I stick it through and I start weaving it out. Also, you want it to be loose. I'm really good at this stuff. I literally used to practice as a kid. You want it to like be really loose.
I'm trying so hard.
Like
Like, I
put
don't
it
know if you
down on
can
the table
see.
flat, put it down on the table flat and just start picking at it. Like going like this and picking at it. It'll eventually start to come a little bit loose.
Okay.
But yeah, what about Maddie? Where are you? Are you driving?
Hi. Yes, honestly, I just woke up from a nap, so I am not even like my brain is not even working right now.
Well, how did you like this weekend?
Um, it was amazing. I wish I could have stayed longer. I was super, super sad I was leaving. But if we can do that regularly, I'll make sure my day is like fully free so I don't have to leave early.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that, well, you stayed a good amount of time. We also went live, by the way, guys. We went live on our story or on Instagram, and we showed like demos live. I actually have those saved, and I will share everything with you guys. I'm just like moving everything right now in my condo, so I've been really busy. But I will do a WeTransfer. I think that's like the best app to use, and I think we should all take advantage of like using that footage for like reels and sharing, because even just sharing some clips on my post on my story, like I had some people reach out to me. So you never know who you're gonna influence when you or who's gonna resonate with what you're posting. Even if you get thousands of freaking shares like on the stories like I did. You never know. So yeah, but I think that even just like we can do them. I've said it, guys. You can come and hang out with me. I'll be gone for a bit, but that won't stop you from also hanging out. You guys can like coordinate it on your own if you want to do more in-person things. If you want to go walk the streets and share about water, go for it. Do it. Because I think those are really great ideas. And even though like you don't need to do that, you don't need to ask our permission to do that. You just need to set it up.
I actually had a question. Me and or Sasha and I and whoever else wants to join over the summer want to start a stand, like a monthly stand at our campus. But where did you guys get those tablecloths made?
You can order them on Weekend, actually. I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up. I think you go on the website.
Okay.
I'm gonna find it because it's under product, like it's under products. You can actually or tools. You can actually get them.
I'm gonna go check it out and see.
Hold on. I think it's under, I don't know if it's under shop now. I think it's under tools. Because I remember once I saw it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me see.
My uncle would know. If you want to get them, you could also just ask him because I'm pretty sure he's the one who's like ordered all of them.
Yeah, I'll
It's an
definitely ask.
actual website though. I just don't know. I remember seeing it.
But I think that's also a great idea. Zach and I actually talked about that a few months ago. He wanted to do that at Max campus. So maybe put that idea in the group and see who would be willing to like join. I just think it would be a fun way to interact with people and share the products, especially students who,
Mhm.
in a lot of ways could be looking for a new business opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. We're aiming for end of May, beginning of June for our first one. Probably the first weekend of June, just because we want nicer weather to kick up a bit before we sit outside all day.
Right.
So
Definitely.
I was actually telling Kyla, I was saying to her, I was literally about ready to go on the street at Dundas Square and bring with my waterfall.
The thing is,
let's do it. Let's get our stand and let's just do it. She was like, really?
I think for like a stand, I need to get a permit for the city.
Yeah,
And
I
they're not
think
expensive. They're like $20, but I just
I
have
think you
to
do,
figure
yeah.
out the process.
I think it also depends on where, but you probably do.
Yeah.
Where is it? I know that it's somewhere. Like I literally saw it recently too.
Ellen, are you enjoying all your fruits over there?
You watching me go in on the coconut, I was dying. Honestly, yeah, we had a truck. There's one truck that goes through Punta Banco, I think like twice a week. And you literally have to walk up to the truck and order your produce and your fruits and everything fresh.
Oh,
We just got
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see on the table over there, but there's like a few bananas and mangoes and avocados just chilling over
That's
there.
so fun.
I found it, by the way. I found it, but it's under maintenance right now. So it's in your quick links and it's called Life and Balance Tools. That's where you'll find it because that's where it was in the
Okay.
website. But like, I don't know. It says that it's coming soon right now. So ask my dad if you want it. But yeah, that's where you would find it.
Where did you find it? Sorry, one more time.
When you open your link and you scroll down, you'll see quick links.
Okay, let me go.
It's called Life and Balance Tools. You'll see like calendar, consultant price list, retail price list, all that stuff. And that's how you'll find, that's where also where you find the price lists. When you're trying to, you click on Canadian consultant price list and it will tell you.
Okay, thank you.
You found it? Okay. So yeah, get together, be friends. Kyla's leaving soon, so hang out with her while I'm gone. Okay. I think like if there's no other questions, do you guys want to tell us like maybe like top 3 things that you learned from the training?
Oh my God, top 3. Okay, let me think. I'm still like integrating the whole experience. I've learned a lot in a very short period of time. And I think it was also one of my most like enjoyable and incredible learning experiences to date. Also just because we had such an incredible group of people and just everything. One thing that I learned though is that I absolutely love to teach. That was one big takeaway that I didn't anticipate going into this. And I had said that from the very beginning that I wasn't expecting to start to want to teach yoga after this. I just simply was going in with no expectations, wanting to deepen my own practice, see how that even influences my own understanding of like wellness and the connection to my body. And then when we really just started getting into it, I like fell deeply back in love with movement and became really curious about what I was capable of. Like we created so many new neural pathways throughout this whole experience between like waking up early, not having coffee, stretching our bodies in ways we never have before. Like you really start to realize how you're just so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for. So I just loved the whole experience and I loved teaching and I loved getting into the flow of that, into the state of that. And now I'm in a state where I just want to share it with as many people as I can and go further into that practice. And I see teaching yoga as a really beautiful building block for holding space for people. And I want to hold space for many people, thousands of people. And so it's a really incredible way to get confident and comfortable in that role. I guess that was my second takeaway would have been like the idea, I touched on it already, that like, it's insane what we're really capable of. Like there are moments when you're practicing yoga, and yoga is so much more than just the physicality of it. It's like on and off the mat. Like we studied the 8 limbs of yoga. So we're talking about the energy, the mental practice, the spiritual like principles that underpin all of it. But there are moments where like it starts to make sense, like physically, like moments where you're in a pose that you're feeling uncomfortable in, and you're tuning back into your breath, reminding your body that you're safe here and that you can go deeper. And then you feel like I felt the moments where my body would literally release and I could go further. And then I could go further from there. And so it was like every single time I thought to myself, no, I can't do it, or I can't go beyond that, I actually could. And I was proving to myself that I could. So it was really, really beautiful to have that experience. And I think because of that, I really started to feel very at home in my body too.
Sorry, I have a question. I know you're flexible, But was there like, did you go into it thinking that you were gonna push your limits, like your physical limits, like
I
that, or?
First off, what's so interesting about this is I don't consider myself to be a flexible person. I did dance before this, yes. And I know that like I've always had a love for movement, but I was always told throughout dance that I was not the flexible one, that I was the stylistic one, let's say. So I went into this already in my mind thinking like what I might be capable of. Literally the stories that I tell myself is that I'm not flexible, that my body is rigid, that my body is fragile. Like I didn't realize that these were stories I was telling myself before. But I made the conscious choice to go into this with no expectations. Like I literally said in our first night there, I don't need to know why I'm here to know that I need to be here. And I was just in full surrender. And so what that meant is every single class, every single time I was stepping onto the mat, I wasn't thinking about the practice the day before. I was literally just present with the practice that day in that moment, wherever my body was. Because that's Pedro. My head. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. So if you remember Pedro.
Pedro.
Guys.
Hola, Pedro.
My team. We're just having a call. Are you looking for someone? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. You keep talking. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, Elena really encapsulated it well. I feel like doing a yoga teacher training is really just about like pushing past the limits of your own mind. And you really do realize that like all the limits that you think are placed on you are existing in your own mind. I mean, like, for example, one of the things we were doing every day was a breathwork practice. And by the end of it, I was holding my breath. I held my breath for 3.5 minutes. And yeah, and I mean, I didn't even know that I could do that. And you like literally feel your mind like in those moments telling you like you need to breathe right now. Like you need to breathe. You're gonna die if you don't breathe. Like you feel your body start to struggle. You feel your abdomen start to pump. And yet you can keep pushing through that and keep holding your breath longer and longer and longer and longer. And you realize like the body can go further. It's the mind that can't. I think one of the experiences that we had during this yoga teacher training that was like the most transformative was our teacher. One day we walked in, this was kind of like towards the end of the training, and our teacher was like, so guys, today we're going to hold chair pose for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You guys know chair poses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyla's like, what? Yeah. So anyways, I was so like pissed at first. I was like not having it that day. I was like, wow, like we really have to fucking do this. And this was a day that we were fasting on this day too. Like it was supposed to be like a rest day, like a chill day. And they decided to make us whole chair pose for 30 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, I'm like standing there, my arms up like this, and the whole point was we have to keep our arms up and our legs bent. And the first like few minutes go by and I'm just like in pain. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I do not need to do this right now. Like there is no one I need to prove this to. Like this is stupid. This is pointless. There's like literally no reason for this suffering. And there was many times where I considered like, do I just leave? Like, do I just walk out? Because I really don't want to do this. But then like the longer and longer I held it, I got to this point where I realized like it's not getting any harder. Like, I don't know. I just like committed to the pose and like started figuring out ways to like
Find comfort in the discomfort.
Find comfort in the discomfort. And you really have to like go into full on like meditation mode if you're gonna sustain that. So I just like found a point in front of me and like was like laser focused on it. And throughout that period of time, like so many, like I started like, sorry, Alicia, I'm gonna mute you because you're
Sorry, yeah.
Can you mute yourself because it's really
Yeah,
loud?
so sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, throughout that period of time, I was like, I started to like really feel that my body could keep going. It was my mind that thought I couldn't, my body could keep holding the pose, even though it hurt, like I could choose to just sit with that hurt because the hurt wasn't getting worse.
it reached a point where it wasn't getting worse. It was just staying as it was. And I was like, if I can hold it right now in this moment, if I can bear this pain right now in this moment, then I can do it all day long, because it is what it is right now. And you really just get so present. But then there was also another part of my mind that's like calculating all the time, especially because I'm like always trying to like solve a problem and like figure things out and whatever. And especially when it comes to time, I have like a really strong internal
Wait,
clock.
it's like one of those things where it's like, it's just another 10 minutes 3 times. Like, it's like,
Right.
okay, 5 minutes, but like twice.
So anyways, our teacher is like playing songs during this whole thing, and the songs were really helping. And I was like, okay, if I can like count the songs and like estimate, like each song is about like this long, then we're like here. And there were so many times where I was like, okay, like we should be done now. Like it's like we should be done now. And I started to realize that based on the number of songs she was playing and the length of each song, that we were holding it for much longer than half an hour. But at that point, I just couldn't even think about the time. I literally just had to like you can't think about time, because then it starts hurting more. And then when you stop thinking about time and you literally just like surrender to the moment and like go into like full on meditation mode, like you're good. So anyway, eventually my teacher goes like, hey, do you guys think you could hold it for an hour? And I'm like, an hour or more? Like, what do you mean? And she flips her phone around, and we had been holding it for 58 minutes.
We're all like,
Yeah.
what? Like literally.
Yeah.
I could share, because Sophia and I had very different experiences for that exercise, especially because like actually every part of our experience was different. So the beginning, our teacher did this whole like spiel about who are you doing this for? Like, you know, think about the people that you're going to hold space for, like, you know, really getting us into the mindset of why would we do this in the first place? Because Sophia's right. Like at any point in time, any one of us can be like, F this, I'm walking out. And there were moments where we felt it. But I was like really driven. I'm very competitive with myself. And I was like, I want to be able to say that I did this because I decided to do it. I chose to do it. And I want to be able to lead by example in every way, right? So I was thinking about the people that I would inspire, not only with this story, but just in general. But while I was holding the pose, I was very conscious of not paying mind, not thinking about the time. Like I knew she was playing songs, and I'm like, if I try to count the songs right now and I try to count the minutes, I'm going to put myself through suffering. And I would catch myself in the moments where I'd be like, almost there. And then I'd be like, no, we're actually not almost there. We're right here. Be here right now. We're right here. Like you don't know where you are. And I realized like how the time and thinking about time and how far my mind was drifting, like how much we take ourselves out of the moment and the experience that we're currently having. And it was creating more suffering for me. So I was catching myself in the moments that would happen, chose not to pay mind to the songs that were playing. But because of that, I had no concept of time. Like I literally at the time that she ended thought we still had maybe 15 minutes left to go. I was like, we're not there yet. Like we're not even close to finished. So when she said 60 minutes, I was like, okay, what world did we just tap into? I'm like, where are we? Like I was so confused. And what was funny was rather than going into a meditative state, oh my God, I'm sorry for all the interruptions right now, guys. Rather than going into a meditative state, like a one-pointed focus, I was really tuning into my body. So we're like holding chair pose, and I was finding the ways to create breaks for my body in certain moments. So for instance, it was almost like the different parts of my body started communicating with each other. So it was like I was tapping into the ecosystem that was my body. My shoulders were talking to my forearms, and my core was talking to my glutes. So it was literally like, okay, we're going to slightly shift this way to give our knees a rest. Quads, you're going to have your moment. You're going to have your moment, but right now we're supporting the knees and then coming back. Okay, and now it's time for the forearms. And so it was like I was having this inner dialogue in my head while this was happening, really tuning into the sensations of my body and tuning into how, like Sophia said, it wasn't getting any harder because I was able to find those moments of comfort within the discomfort, like those moments of rest. So it was really interesting because then by the end of it, when she was like, yeah, 60 minutes, we all put our arms down and they were like dead weights. Like I literally could not feel my arms. I was like, it was in that moment that I realized like, holy shit, we had been holding our arms for 60 minutes up in the air. Yeah, so we had very different experiences, and her and I were like standing next to each other too. It was just
Yeah. I was like having like
Pose
full
is like
on
this,
like
right? It's like your bent
like
knees.
blissful
It's
moments.
like
I don't know.
this
It's
one, right?
crazy.
It's like bent knees
Yeah, it's like bent knee and your arms are like
in a
this.
chair. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Um,
I was really like going through like a lot. Like I was having like really like moments of like pure ecstasy through this as well, like really lucid moments. It was crazy, but it really just like the whole experience really just taught me that like anything I think I can't do, I can, you know, and it's just a matter of me like mastering my mind, you know, because the body follows the mind at the end of the day.
yeah.
What's one
Mhm.
thing that you've learned that you'd apply to like the business?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have one. Um, it was actually what I was talking about earlier before Pedro came through. This whole experience has just taught me how to be so present and grateful for the process. So what I was saying earlier was your practice on any one day is going to look entirely different, which means if you're thinking about what you did the day before, you're not fully present with your practice in the moment that you need to be, and you're not getting the value out of it, and you're not going, like, you're not getting what you need to experience, the lessons that you need to learn from this present practice. And so for me, it was all about, and this was hard, this is a lesson that I haven't learned in the past, because it was really all about not only comparison to others, because you find yourself wandering when you're in your practice too. You notice where your eyes start to drift, and it's like you're looking at other people, you're turning to the partner next to you, and it's like, be present with your pose, your practice, but also the comparison that takes place within ourselves day to day. And so what I really learned from this is showing up with your best, like your 100% each day, and that might look different on any one day. But your best is your best. And for me, it allowed me to be really comfortable with the process. It's like, yeah, we're working towards something, but be here now, because where you are today is perfect. It's exactly where you need to be. It's what you need to learn. It's what you need to experience. So that was one thing that I mean, we talk about it all the time, commitment to the process, detachment from the outcome. This really put that into practice for me, because I could feel on certain days where maybe my joints were a little bit tighter. And like, I was in this pose yesterday. Why am I not able to do it today? So rather than getting caught up in that, it was really just a matter of having respect and appreciation for where I was today, knowing that it was exactly where I needed to be. And maybe tomorrow will be harder, maybe it'll be easier, we don't know, but we're not there yet. We're here, right now. So be here with this experience.
That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, there's so many things I could say, but this was really just it was like a whole month long dedicated to reminding us that we are literally magic. Like, we can use our energy like so much more efficiently than we have been using it. We can manipulate matter, you know, by getting ourselves in the right energetic alignment. And like, for me, it just reminded me, like, when it comes to my business, like, I can't just be like doing the things. Like, I can't just be contacting people and posting on my social media and showing up to calls. I also have to be like meditating. I have to be setting intentions. I have to be checking in with my chakras, making sure my chakras are all clear and open, you know, making sure that I'm rooted, I'm grounded, I feel safe in my body, I feel safe in my environment, and like that I am tapped in, like I feel like abundance is flowing my way. I feel like that channel is clear. And if I'm not like doing those things, those basic things that keep my energy in the right place, then obviously I'm not going to experience like the success that I want to in my life. Like, it was just a reminder that like things don't need to be so hard. You know, you can literally make magic happen. And even just thinking about like the ways that we use and conserve our energy. Like this whole month we learned about like conserving our prana. You know, we abstained from a lot of things. We did not drink coffee for the entire month because it's not good for you. Like it drains your it's an unnatural like supplement of energy, and it really like puts a lot of strain on your adrenals, right? And it clogs the channel between you and the divine, you know? We also ate vegan food all month. So we were really like making ourselves a clear vessel. The yoga and the pranayama, like that's all for purification, purifying the body, purifying the mind with the breath. And so I was just reminded of like, yeah, like how important it is to like maintain my energy, to be taking care of myself first and foremost, because if I'm not in a good state mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, then how, like I can't do my magic isn't as like the channel isn't as clear for my magic to come through and make a bunch of miracles happen in the world. So I'm definitely bringing that into like this next month as I come back into like work mode, and I'm really excited to work alongside you guys to make some things happen, to like progress my own personal business. I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm still waking up and I'm doing my meditation and my breath work and my yoga, that I'm still very conscious about what I put in and on my body. You know, that I am setting intentions, that I'm setting goals for myself, that I'm like, I feel like I've like truly mastered the manifestation process. And of course, there's always more to learn, but like, I'm not just going to go out there and aimlessly try to do stuff. I'm going to set a goal for the amount of money I want to make this month. I'm going to break down what it's going to take for me to do that. And I'm going to tap into that reality as if it's already done and embody that frequency each and every day before I go out and start doing the thing, you know, because that's how like magic happens. And that's what makes this whole process of building a business fun.
That was actually one thing you said. That's something we've been talking a lot about on our Thursday calls. And I don't think we have those ones recorded. Maybe one of them we do. I think maybe last week or the week before. But it's this goal setting and goal cards. And I think everyone who came to the event has a goal card. So they received a goal card, something that Bob Proctor gave Papa when he achieved his Royal Diamond. And we also, they were doing a seminar, a 4-day seminar for Bob Proctor to honor him. And so we were taking a lot of the practices that they were speaking about and talking about in that way. But it really had to do with like setting that clear intention and being specific with what you want, and also sharing that with somebody, because you want to keep yourself accountable as well. And so having that goal, having that specific date and the specific amount, the specific date, and letting the rest take its place. And also not just like, it has to be, you have to convince yourself, you have to convince others, and you have to convince, or it was 3 things, I don't remember. It was like convince others, convince friends or something, and convince yourself. And that this is the reality that you are in.
Well, that's another thing too that I wanted to mention, because something that I realized as well throughout this whole process is like slowly. That's something we've been saying a lot throughout our training. And I think it has so many different meanings, but a goal that I had set for myself a few months ago, I have it like taped up on my my laptop screen. I'm literally looking at it right now. And it says multimillionaire at age 25. I don't connect to that goal right now. I don't feel connected to it because I created this arbitrary timeline for myself as if to say that by age 25, if I'm a multimillionaire, then my life will be well on course. And that's not to say that's not a viable goal, or that's not something worth working towards, because I realize like I need to redefine the value in it in terms of why I created it in the first place. But what I learned what I learned throughout this experience is that my life is happening right now. It's not happening when I'm 25. It's happening right now. So if I'm not happy with the experience now, and I'm not happy with the process now, I won't be happy with it when I'm 25 years old either. So connect with the goals that you're creating, have that in mind, and fall in love with the process along the way. Find moments of excitement, of passion, of inspiration, of hard work, you know, all those things that are happening throughout the process. They're not happening once you like reach that and that goal that you set for yourself. And honestly, this entire practice and training that we went through really set that in stone for me. Realizing like we have ourselves on these timelines that I think are sometimes important because they're pointing us in the right direction in terms of what it is that we want to create for ourselves. But sometimes they take us out of the experiences that we're meant to be having right here, right now. So be present with the lessons that are in front of you in the moment that they are, the experiences that they are, and be grateful when the universe is giving you work to do, pushing you further along that path that you've created for yourself. And there was one more thing that I wanted to mention, sorry, that I also had as a takeaway from this entire experience is that it's not always the things that we want to do, rather the things that we don't want to do that actually support our greatest joy and peace. And an example of that is at the beginning of the month, and honestly on most days, I did not want to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to go meditate and do breath work, knowing that I wasn't going to have an ounce of coffee throughout that day. And yet every single time that I did, and every single time we completed our breath work, our meditation, and our vigorous Ashtanga practice, I had felt the most peace, bliss, and happiness that I've ever felt in my entire life. Like I have never felt that connected to myself and to nature and to life and to the beauty of it all. So keep that in mind as you're working towards your goals. And maybe you're questioning, is this in alignment for me? Why am I feeling all this resistance? And you're feeling, you know, a lack of energy or motivation. It really is sometimes the things that we don't want to do that really support us and serve us the most in this life and set us on a path that is truly aligned with what it is that we want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing. That was so wonderful. It's nice to see that you guys went through this together, but had such different experiences. And I'm like shaking in my boots because I'm doing this next. And I'm just so excited. And the more you guys talk about it, the more it's bringing me joy that you guys got to experience it. And then I get to come to the table and share my story too. And it's so beautiful because everything you guys have been saying, these quotes have been just coming up recently. And something that Elena just said, that you didn't want to wake up every day and somehow you felt better. My friend sent me a quote: something worth doing is always worth redoing. So it's like, it was so worth it to do it the first time.
Kyla.
Yeah.
What was your quote that you said at the end of the meditation?
May every breath you take be a moment to feel more alive.
Love that.
And then something else, I always am drawn to movies for some reason. Like I'm not a big movie person, but for some reason yesterday, this movie just really stood out to me. And I didn't read the caption or what it was about. And it was about a girl who went like backpacking and just stayed in hostels. And she was like, I'm not going to fall in love. She was like resisting it. And then she met this man and they just had such a beautiful moment together. And he goes, why do you like traveling? And she's like, because everything is in the moment. You can't be late. You're never going to the next destination. You just kind of go wherever the wind takes you. You don't have a plan and you just go. And I'm like, all right, see ya. Hello, Costa Rica, here I come.
It's true.
Traveling.
Traveling.
What is this movie called?
I don't even remember. I just clicked it.
No,
But I'll find out. I'll send it to you once I find out.
I'm honestly really excited for you.
Can't be late. I love that.
I already know how much you love it here. And the
Yoga really is amazing. Like I've even just been finding my own practice here recently. And Shelby even walked us through, because I think Shelby does yoga too. And she was even walking us through. You guys should watch the recording. I think it was 2 weeks ago. She did her presentation on yoga mudras and was teaching us, like the different hands and did a little like breathwork meditation with us. And it was just so nice. And then Kyla meditated. Kyla did a meditation for us and we like chose a mantra or something. And yeah, it really does. Like I noticed like the point of yoga is actually to be sane. Like it keeps you sane. Like I understand why yogis are so chill all the time. because it
Yeah.
literally
You
allows
literally burn
breathe.
away all of your anger. Like
yeah,
you just burn it
and, like,
off.
I also realized like you're not angry. This is what you're not angry. You just didn't have a good stretch. Like you need a stretch.
Yeah,
Like I truly feel like that just
Yoga
releases everything.
also it's such a good way to release like trapped emotions in the body. Like you definitely have energy blocks right now that you're not even aware of that are making you more irritable, more angry. Things, you get triggered by certain things. The subconscious mind is the body, right? So as you're going through these like really difficult poses, as you're twisting and turning your body in different ways, as you're opening your body in different ways, things will be released on a conscious and unconscious level. Like I remember at one point we were doing like a back bend workshop, and I went into this like back bend, and I don't know, back bends like always kind of scared me and made me feel really vulnerable. And right when I came out of it, like I just started crying like a little kid.
Release,
I
yeah.
literally felt like I was a 3-year-old girl, like all over again. And I don't know what and it like released in that moment, but it was obviously something that had been there for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's just, it's even like sitting in like pigeon pose. Elena was like crying one day. It really is like healing on like mental, emotional, physical levels.
Yeah.
Did you guys find that like doing one pose? Like, so I was doing yoga today and we were doing the same freaking thing over and over again. And I'm like, can we stop doing the same thing? But every time that I did it, I felt more relaxed in it. And I'm like, okay, wait, this anxiety that I'm feeling about doing the same thing is going away. And
That's
it's
kind
like,
of the point.
and at the beginning of the class, I was like, my mind was going and all these things, but then we continued and I was like, okay, I can't even think about other things right now because I'm so focused on these positions and the breath. And like, they remind you, breathe, like breathe in. I like when they tell you like, breathe in, breathe out. And like, you're breathing the whole class. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Papa. Sorry, I realize you're on. I know you have your call soon.
I do. I just wanted to jump in and see my favorite people and get some inspiration before I go to my call.
We've just
Yeah.
talking about yoga and their experiences.
I think.
The
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think
Sorry,
too, what I really learned with my first 200-hour teaching is yoga is actually a work in. It's not a workout.
Yeah.
You still get the benefits of a workout, but you're working everything on the inside and you're truly like tuning in, tapping in, turning on to all those things that you need to be like tuning into. And then once you realize that you can actually make all of these happen in your everyday life, you continue to get deeper and practice even more.
Yeah. It really is. I've had a misperception of yoga. Mind you, I never really got into it. I'll be honest. So like mine was coming from a place of ignorance. But what my idea of yoga was really just a physical practice. To some degree, I felt there was more. I know there's more to it. And that just comes from my own spiritual understanding. But it's really like not about the physical. It's literally just the way in which we use the physical body, the vessel, to take us deeper into our connection with our soul, our spirit, and this form of enlightenment, like this path to enlightenment that is like even just greater on the energy body. So for instance, one thing that I've noticed is tuning into like where I'm feeling even the kinks in my body as I'm moving through the practice, starting to think about it in a more holistic way. Like I'm tighter on my left hip and knee than I am on my right. Well, my left side is attached to my feminine body. It's attached to the feminine energy in my life. What are my relationships like with the women in my life? What's my relationship like with my mom? Like really becoming your own healer and intuitively tuning into what's going on.
You just explained so much to me, Elena. I've got a magnet on my hip and one on my back on the left side.
Yeah.
And it just
Have
totally
you heard that?
Right. And so you start to feel more empowered in this vessel. Like, yes, we are a soul, but we are taking on a physical body in this life. You start to feel more empowered. You take your power back. You realize I don't need to run to the doctor, to run to the pharmacy every single time something kinks or nicks or like aches. It's like my body is communicating with me. If I could just sit quietly and listen.
Yeah.
Into that frequency. And yoga is a practice to connect you further with that intuition, that source energy that really is where all healing comes from, where all the answers come from. And so I just am really grateful that I had the opportunity to connect deeper with that, because one of my goals coming into this too was to strengthen my intuition, and got a good relationship going right now. So I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing I really wanted to mention on this call was like, we're coming into this like new era of entrepreneurship and just new era of like consciousness in general, you know, and the ways that things worked in the past aren't going to work moving forward, right? We need a whole new system of thinking, of you know, working and making money.
We need
And yeah, it's like really a time for like, we're moving away from like those patriarchal systems and ways of thinking and like the hustle, grind, suffer, sacrifice, into like this feminine flow where we are allowed to be compassionate with ourselves and with others. We're allowed to be at peace. We're allowed to be creative. We're allowed to take things from moment to moment. We're allowed to flow. We are allowed to make intuitive decisions when it comes to business. We're allowed to sit in meditation and get an awesome download for a post instead of just, oh, this is a structure that's worked before, let me just do this. Like,
or wait for the stars to align.
Right. Like, we're allowed to take things slowly. We're allowed to not be in a rush to make things happen, you know. Slowly literally became like our mantra over the entire course of this thing. Like, especially because our team is like female dominated, like we are all like we are fucking magic, guys. We are literally magical beings. Like, we are more like spiritually connected than the men in our lives. Like, we have a portal inside of us that literally connects us to the divine. We need to use it. Like, we need to allow this to come through in our business life. It's going to feel so much better. Like, you're allowed to feel like ecstasy and bliss, and like let that reflect in your world around you. Like, use that to power your manifestation.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, I feel like it's just a totally different climate right now in our collective experience, and we need to start leaning in more to that. So like, even like coming on our calls and like not having like a plan for the day, like that's, do you ever notice that when we don't have a plan, that's when the best calls happen? You know, it's like, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It's because that's like how the feminine flows. That's how the best comes out of it. The juiciest stuff comes. And I really want to encourage you guys. Like, that's why I'm not going to just like go back into work mode and like drain myself until I get the results I want. Instead, I'm going to do it through empowering and filling my cup up, and giving myself a dance party while I think about what I'm creating. Like,
nice.
Fully embodiment. Like, it's just, you guys know what I'm saying. I'm like having a hard time like
we know
what you're trying to say, but you know what I'm saying.
I think like a great way to interpret that, because that's been an energy like I've been feeling. And a few weeks ago, I was talking about like, because this month, like I haven't been recruiting, I haven't been like, but I've been doing what feels good and doing things like in the moment. And it's not about like having it a certain way, like doing things because others have done it this way, as you were saying. It's about like just having that goal. As long as you have a goal and you're inching towards it every day, whether it's, I need a dance party and fill my cup up today to get myself to be able to do something tomorrow, then that's still inching towards your goals. It's having that goal and still doing something that is getting you towards it, no matter what it looks like. That's like what the energy that I think, because again, having that flow, but also having that, You need to have a goal. You need to have a clear intention. Otherwise, you're just doing whatever. So
Yeah.
using that energy towards something. And
Yeah. And like
taking intuitive
allowing your
action.
intuition to lead the way. Yeah, taking
post.
intuitive action.
Yeah.
With heart, execute with the mind. But lead
Yeah.
with intuition. Lead with your creative center always.
Yeah, it's like lead with the feminine energy, execute with the masculine
Yeah.
energy, you know?
Energy is coming forward to teach us all now, because we've been so far out of balance. It's been all about the masculine, but almost like the wounded masculine, where it's like working to no end. Insane structure, but boundaries that don't create room for freedom and expansion. Feminine is coming back in so we can tap back into our creativity, our creation center, and have a nice harmony that exists between those two necessary energies in our life. So, I mean, really start to tap into that role for yourself as a feminine leader too. And what kind of legacy, what kind of community you want to build for yourself, what kind of world you want to have a hand in. Let that guide you further.
This
Not
is a
what-
great, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just looking at the time. But welcome back, guys. You guys will be back for the rest of the calls, right?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm
All right.
ready. I'm like
We have a
recharged
leadership
and ready
team
to
now, so you'll
jump
have to join
back
our
in.
leadership calls.
Oh, we got a leadership call. Yeah, like I feel like I didn't even get an update on like what happened over this last month. Like, talk to me.
Watch the
I don't
recording.
just want to hear from Savannah. I want to hear from everyone.
Say, I have literally, like, my heart is so full at the way that this team has like really just like taken on a life of its own since Sophia and I have been away. Like, I've been keeping up with the chats. Like, we have 1 hour of Wi-Fi, 2 hours of Wi-Fi a day, and I'd tap into the chats and I'd see everyone so engaged, and I'd hear about these new things that I have no idea what they actually are or what's going on, but I know you guys are a part of it. And honestly, it was such a breath of fresh air. Like, I was filled with so much gratitude to know that like so many people were stepping up and stepping into that role of leadership, and things were just happening and we weren't even part of it. Like, at one point I was like, I feel like these are our, like, it was kind of crazy, but I was like, oh my God, Sophia, I'm like, these are our children. Like, we can't leave yet. I'm not ready to let go. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for, I guess, a better experience in that transition, and seeing you all start to shine in your own roles. It's been beautiful to witness. So I can't get into the swing of it with you all and to really start to work alongside each other. Like,
Yeah.
truly.
On that note, I just wanted to say I think Savannah has done like an amazing job of like filling both of your roles. Like, I think she was very nervous going into it, and she just like jumped into fire and just really did a good job. And I don't know, it was like some of us were very fresh and very new to this, and Savannah was like, all right guys, let's go. And you really like led with love. So I wanted to thank you for that. And it was a really brave and big role that you took on. So thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. That was
I
a boss.
enjoyed-
I'm so proud of you too, Savannah. Like, honestly, I've seen you like just grow so much in such a short period of time, and you like speak with so much confidence now, and you're so motivated and driven. Like, you're inspiring me. And
The
yeah,
whole- the
I'm
whole
super
joke
grateful.
was that she could sell a water filter to a fish.
Yeah, apparently I've gotten really good at selling water filters
Nice.
because I just talk about them all the time. Like,
I mean, hey, and
but
people still seem to be surprised.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, I always remind you guys too, like, it's these positions that like I wasn't who I am now, like, because I just decided to sit back. Like, I made myself take on roles that I wasn't comfortable with, and now I'm comfortable in them. And that's what growth is. It's
Yeah.
becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's literally growth. Like, if you think about the definition of growth. So on that note, I'm gonna volunteer Maddie, because you're the only one that hasn't done a leadership segment in this chat. So next week, do you think you could do our leadership segment?
To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Our leadership segment. Have you heard anything about them? You were here when we were doing them, no?
Maybe just remind me again.
So the leadership segment is our 10-minute segment at the end of the call, where someone from the team, other than me, Eleanor, Sophia, because we're usually talking and it leads. So you guys take on and you just provide value. It could be with anything. It could be with your own practice. It can be with like nutrition. If you want to like look up some of the nutritionals and like talk about, do a little presentation on the benefits of them. Kyla did a meditation. Shelby did the yoga mudras, right? So like whatever value you want to
Oh.
provide to the community, it's a 10-minute segment where you can do that at the end of the call.
Mhm. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. So next week
Awesome.
it'll be, the
I'm
only thing
so
we say is
excited.
don't use, rely on it to be you speaking, not like a video.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say I'm so grateful for Sophia and Elena's talk tonight. Honestly, it's been a rough day and week. I've been working so much. I hit my breaking point today, and I'm just like feeling like that's why I came in late, because I literally just needed a nap so bad. I like woke up right at 8, and it's just been absolutely exhausting. So, and I find whenever I come on these calls, it's always when I need to hear what you guys have to say the most. Like, honestly, I was getting kind of emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cried in the middle of the call tonight because I'm just like, literally, I'm getting emotional again. But like everything that you, man, it's just been a lot. Like ever since I moved back to the city, it's just been a lot. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed, but like, and I'm trying to shift from that like physically working and grinding and that like, you know, like masculine energy, and I'm really trying to shift into the more like making magic happen, you know, like I know I'm capable of it and everything, but I just want to say how grateful I am to all of you, because like it's hard trying to do it on your own, but then I hop on a call and it's like, man, but I'm not alone, you
We're
know?
not meant to do this alone. Like we're not.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys motivate me too. Like I'm able to show up for you guys in the way that I am because you guys motivate me to do it. Like that's why I tell you, come over. Like I'm here, come hang out. Let's be friends because we can do things. And it motivates me to want to do it and to have the courage to do it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maddie,
No,
thank
you're
you.
amazing.
Maddie, we're here to hold space for you. Like, thank you for being vulnerable with us. We're really happy that you're here, you know, and like you're gonna make it through this, you know?
Exactly
You're
where
gonna make it through this.
you're exactly where you need to be. You always are.
Mm-hmm. No, and I feel that it's just when like every day, like I just haven't even had a minute to myself, like a day to just be by myself and just focus on this stuff. So anyways, but the calls and like every time I hop on, like you guys just, you have no idea the impact you guys have. Like just keep going because you guys are making literal magic. I'm like gonna cry talking about this right now because it's just
I'm giving you a virtual
Maddie,
hug.
that's Maddie.
So much. Oh my gosh.
I feel the love. Yes, Savannah.
That's your story.
What do you mean?
Like when you don't know where to pull to, when you're sharing, when you want to share this with someone and you don't know how to share it with them, that's your why. Why are you here? Because you feel so damn good being here.
Yeah.
That's like part of your story. And that's such a simple way to just be so authentic in it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And like just the timing that I found this and like just everything. And now I'm starting to actually share this story because lately I've just been feeling this call to help basically do what you guys are doing and help empower women and like really see their potential. You know what I mean? Like we have the potential to do so much greatness, but we put ourselves in these boxes and we think we need to like grind and do a job that we hate. Like I'm still working in the service industry and I'm like, I'm over this. Like, this is not me. This is not me. I don't even drink alcohol and I'm serving alcohol for a living. Like, what am I doing? You know?
Not a vibrational match.
No, I'm feeling so out of alignment. Like ever since I started working again, I'm like,
sparklers last night. I had to hold sparklers while for a wedding. I literally got paid to be there for 5 minutes. Okay. I was literally like, I'm not meant to be doing this. Like, even though I'm getting paid to just hold sparklers, I don't want to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. And that's how
Like,
I
I
feel for like 6 to 8 hours, like multiple times a week. I'm like, I'm good at this, but this is not where I'm supposed to be right now, you know? And like, it's just so damn hard switching from like an employee mindset and employee lifestyle to like an entrepreneur. It is tough if you don't know anything about business and sales, you know, but I don't know, you guys really do help me like power through and really shift to that. And Savannah, I'm gonna take you up on hanging out because I need more people like you in my life, you know, like
gotcha.
so many people are just they either complain or they gossip, like majority of people. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I just can't.
And we'll do our live. We're gonna go live. So we'll do
Yes, I would love to do that. 100%.
we were gonna go live, me, her, and Kyla to talk about
Oh my God.
I love
we're
that.
gonna go live. We're
Hells
gonna
yeah.
my like
Mhm.
just like what Niken is, what network marketing is, and
Mhm.
our stories and talk about the truth behind it, not what people just assume. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna do that. But we've been on time every time. When you guys come back, it's 9:12. We're late.
The vibes are too high, man.
I've been so good
Vibes
at keeping us
too.
on track. We've been ending at 8:58, 9 p.m.
Wow. Oh, Saf.
It's my fault this week, guys. It's my fault.
It's okay. Anyway,
Wow.
I love you guys.
Always exactly as it should be. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Totally.
Maddie, I'm excited to hear your leadership segment next week.
Mhm.
And everyone, you know what? I want to start ending our calls by saying namaste because I really love that, like in yoga. And like a while ago, before I even started doing yoga consistently, I like learned, I never knew what it meant. Like, I never knew it meant like the light in me honors the light in you. And I think that's such a beautiful one. I always thought, like, you know, when I have kids, like if they're ever arguing, like I always want them to end their argument with, like, after they talk about it, like namaste, because I think it's such a great way to show that, like, yes, we might not be eye to eye, we might not see things the same, but like my soul honors your soul. So
Yeah.
namaste.
I mean, this honestly is a word that came up throughout our training, to be honest. And like some people there had concerns about like culture appropriation when it came to like
Really?
white people saying the word namaste.
Yeah.
And I think it just has to be like stated like where the word comes from and like, yeah, knowing like what the true meaning of the word is. Because in India, they do just like walk around and say namaste to each other, like as if it's like, hi, like, hey, what's up? Like namaste. Like they're just, that's how they greet each other. But if we're going to be like adopting that here, I think that it's important that we just, you know, we honor the lineage of yoga, we honor the founders of yoga. And we recognize that this is a word that holds great meaning, you know? And yeah, it's a beautiful meaning. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. We can also say to each other, like, I love you, I honor you, and I respect you. Namaste. You know, just so we're remembering like where this word comes from, really what the meaning is. I'm sure it has so much deeper meaning, like in the like language that it's from. The I feel like the translation probably doesn't even do it full justice, you know?
So what is your way
Yeah.
of honoring the language, like, and using that?
Bringing acknowledgement to the roots of where it's derived from. Like, again, acknowledging the integrity and the history of yoga from the East, its entire lineage, rather than what we've created here in the West.
Yeah.
I
And
personally,
how do you honor it by stating that ahead of, like, that's what I mean.
moment to acknowledge like the ascended masters or the founding fathers of yoga, and you can state their names. But to be honest, I'm still navigating that even for myself, where I haven't fully integrated whether or not I choose to incorporate that into my practice. Like some of the ways that I would close out a class would just simply be, I love you, I honor you, I respect you. Go about the rest of your day with love, light, and peace, or love, light.
Yeah.
So
Because
That's actually how I started saying, may every breath I take be a moment to feel more alive, because it's how I end my practices. And I do this. And if people choose to say namaste after I say that, that's their choice, because I've been aware of that as well. And you don't want anyone to get upset, so you just say what you need to say. And if you want, I'm happy to say that at the end of every class, or of every call, because it's something that's really special to me.
Yeah. We could even create our own version of, or not our own version, but like our own way of ending out the class, whether it's like verbally saying it. But yeah, that is just, it's something to be mindful of.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because that number one, that's what a lot of the yoga classes that I take, that's how they end it. But also for me, I guess that word really does hold meaning for me, because I remember like the first time I heard it, it really like brought me out of a state that I was in, and it really brought me back aligned and made me feel like, wow, like I really honor this word. Like this word means a lot, and the meaning of it means a lot. So I do love the word, and I would love to use it. But that's good to know, like that way of using it. Yeah. All right. Well, good night,
Okay.
guys.
It was lovely seeing you all again.
Take care.
Love you guys. Love
Oh,
you guys.
tomorrow we have I don't know if we're having this call. Does anyone have any guests tomorrow?
Not at the moment.
I don't currently.
I might have someone.
Negative.
Okay.
I don't.
Confirm
anyway.
if you have them before. So
I need to
Yeah.
check in with her because she wanted to come on Thursday, but she wasn't home in time.
Is this the
So I'll
Life
check
on
in with her
Purpose
again and I'll
call?
invite her to Tuesday. Sorry.
Is
Tuesdays
this
are
the
just
Life on Purpose call?
it's our testimonial call.
Oh, testimonials.
So
Okay,
or product. It's more of like our product call.
cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's head out. Bye, guys.
Hi,
Have a
guys.
great night, everybody.
Good night.